Hello, my name's Dave Griffin. I'd like to thank you all for purchasing your designated safeguarding lead training from our company. My background is social work. That may come across over the course of the session. I will do my best not to use acronyms or social work jargon, but my role in social work started in 1977 when I was an education welfare officer. I've subsequently been a probation officer and a child protection social worker. I retired from local government in 2011, and since that time I have done freelance social work. I've been the assessment social worker for a mother and baby unit. I've done fostering and adoption assessments, and predominantly I have been training schools, nurseries, sporting organisations, churches in relation to the role of the designated safeguarding lead. So I'd like to thank you for purchasing your training from our company, and with no further ado, I shall press on with the role of the designated safeguarding lead. What we're hoping to achieve with these sessions is for you to be able to describe the role of the designated safeguarding lead and what your key areas of responsibility are. We'll touch on the role of the local safeguarding partnerships, which used to be the safeguarding children's boards. We will identify the signs of abuse that you are likely to encounter with the children and young people that you work with. We're going to look at some of your child protection policies and what to do when concerns about a child are raised. We will also look at the signs of safety, which is a model of social work that quite a lot of local authorities have now moved towards, and we'll highlight any local safeguarding partnership strategies that have come about recently. Okay, we're going to talk about the role of the designated safeguarding lead. I'd like you to think about what you do in your day-to-day work that ensures the safety of the children that you work with. Now, the obvious things are going to be looking for bruises, things like that. But there are also other issues such as site security, what you do to make sure the right person is collecting the child at the end of the day. Also, what do you do in terms of your training, your policies, your procedures? All of these things are important. One of the things you also have to bear in mind is that safeguarding children is everybody's responsibility. When things go tragically wrong, people say, where were the social workers? Where were the police? Why weren't they doing something about this? We do not know what is going on in the houses of the children that you work with unless somebody warns us that there are concerns there. That is when the responsibility shifts to us. We don't know by osmosis. We need you as the early warning system. So it is your job to make sure that we are aware. And it is your job, unfortunately, on occasions to kick our backsides if we're not doing what we need to be doing. And I will cover how you do that later on in the session. So your main area of responsibility is to make sure that we know if things are starting to go wrong for any of the children that you're working with. And in the majority of cases, when things have gone badly wrong, when we look back at this with the benefit of hindsight, when people like me come in and take everybody's files and we scrutinize what was going on, generally what we find is that schools knew this about that particular child, health visitors knew something else, police knew something else, social workers knew something else, and all of those bits of information individually might not have necessarily pointed to massive safeguarding issues. But when you collate all of that information, very often what was going to happen to that child was patently obvious. So we need to make sure that we are passing information on appropriately, and we will also be covering information sharing later on.